Hello, my sweeties. I know I honestly look like shit right now, and I'm in this really strange room. I'm actually currently in my voice's playroom right now, because I was not planning on making a video just yet. I mean, I have 3 that are already pre-recorded, and I've slowly been editing them, but I have finals this week. And I've been redoing my room. For those of you who follow my Instagram, you probably noticed the video I posted yesterday or the other day, depending on when I get this up, of my room that's basically painted. I still have the floor to do though, and get my new curtains up and stuff for my closet. So that's what I've been working on, and just trying to get my space more functional and more working, so I can get more content up for you guys in a lot better time and easier, and have my space organized to where it's actually functional for me. But I came across some things yesterday, and I honestly, this is why I'm doing this video, because I feel like it needs to be talked about. I'm honestly in the process of working on a similar video that's already recorded. I'm just, due to copyright, I had to take it down and do some editing and stuff, unfortunately. But I do plan on getting that video back up. In the meantime, there's this one and all my other ones. So, with a trigger warning ahead of time, intro. Are you also tired of seeing more of this?
You can't be American and wear that mask. You cannot. We literally had a war about this.
You ain't gonna win! My wrist. Down the street, the cops are gonna have his name. Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot!
You don't need a mask.
Relax.
Man, I can't breathe in my face. Just get up.
As I watch the video and listen to the officer's commands, it is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright.
No peace! No justice! No...
Throw the fist, man. Throw it. Throw it.
And less of this. Let's talk. Bam badam bam 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 badam bam bam bam. Cafe. Bam ba 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 ba. Cafe. Dun 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 dun. Cafe. So again, trigger warning. Trigger warning. And yes, I know I look like shit. I am in my pajamas. My hair is still wet, and I just threw it in a bun, and I slapped on some makeup. Whatever. And I am in my boys' playroom, on my bed, on the floor. Like, seriously. This has been my space for like the last week while I'm trying to get everything done. So, and my boys walked in right there. So to set the scene, last night, or actually it started yesterday, I'm on, social media and stuff, taking a break from painting and being covered in paint and all that, and I'm like, I'm listening to my news and stuff, and actually I think I was actually painting when I heard this, but I found out that Russia basically has outlawed gay marriage. Not really surprised. It's Mother Russia, whatever. Continued painting, went about my day, went to work and everything, and then, I'm on my break at work, and of course I'm on social media, because what else is there to do for 15 minutes while you're like, just trying to get off your feet for a little bit before you have to, go back. And so I'm on social media, and I came across a video that it was Right Now video, which I'll show it, and come to find out that France is currently, and has been since March of this year, trying to ban Muslim women from wearing their traditional hijabs. And of course, there's this huge protest and everything that's going on, which I'll share clips of the video here, or the full, and you guys can see what I watched last night.
Oh my god, it's like 80 degrees out. Why are you wearing pants? Take them off. My pants. You want me to take my pants off? That's so hot. You're gonna have a heat stroke. I'm really worried for you. Take them off. Honestly, I'm just really comfy right now, and for the purpose of modesty and my own personal comfort, I think I'll keep them on. Not concerned about heat stroke. I'm doing all right. Take them off. I'm really worried for you. Super duper worried. So I'm gonna make it so that you legally have to take your pants off. Not allowed to wear pants. Don't care what you have to say. You're not allowed. Just not. The reality of the situation is a little bit different, but it's just as ridiculous. If you didn't know, the French government is literally trying to put a ban on Muslim women under the age of 18 from wearing hijabs. France is literally stripping women of their freedom of choice to wear what they want, cover themselves how they want. The age of consent in France is literally 16, and you're telling Muslim women that they have to be 18 to decide how they want to dress.
And it really honestly was upsetting for me. And then, I followed George Takei, who is a famous actor from Star Trek, and having grown up as a Trekkie, obviously I follow him naturally, but I've really started following him and keeping track of his social media this last year or two with everything been going on. And I do agree with a lot of the content he shares. So he shared this quote, I don't know what to call it, and I'll read that to you now. And I am going to try to do as much research and share the stories behind these names for you guys, which might be why this might take a little bit longer, but I may not get all of it done because I'm going to try to rush and get this video out. And since I have finals this weekend, my final is due in 3 days, I'll need to work on that. So I'm going to be rushing this out. But this needs to get out. This needs to be said. So with that, before I start reading this, I am going to ask you guys this question. And that is this the world we want? And I want you to take that question into consideration as you watch that video of what's going on with the Muslims in France. And as I read this to you, and taking into consideration what's going on in Russia right now with the LGBTQ community. So the person who this quote is from is David Gray, is his name. I believe he's the one that originally posted it. I'm not sure on which social media. I would assume TikTok, not TikTok, Twitter maybe. Maybe he did it on Facebook. I don't know. I came across it on George Takei's thing. So I need to drive my 2-year-old to daycare tomorrow morning. To ensure we arrive alive, we won't take public transit. Oscar Grant. I removed all air fresheners from the vehicle and double-checked my registration status, Dante Wright, and ensured my license plates were visible, Lieutenant Corin Nazario, and I apologize if I mispronounce any of these names. I will be careful to follow all traffic rules, Philando Castli, signal every turn, Sandra Blaine, keep the radio volume low, Jordan Davis, and won't stop at a fast food chain for a meal, Rayshard Brooks. I'm too afraid to pray, Reverend Clementa C. Pickney, so I just hope the car won't break down. Corey Jones. When my wife picks him up at the end of the day, I'll remind her not to dance. Elijah McLean. Stop to play in a park. Tamron Rice. Patronize the local convenience store for snacks. Trevian Martin. Or walk around the neighborhood. Mike Brown. Once they are home, we won't stand in our backyard. Stephen Clark. Eat ice cream on the couch. Buff and Jean. Or play any video games. Antonia Jefferson. After my wife and I tuck him into bed around 7:30 p.m., neither of us will leave the house to go to Walmart, John Crawford, or to the gym, to Schwind Oats, or on a jog. Amhad Ambri. We won't even walk to see the birds, Christian Cooper. We'll just sit and try not to breathe, George Floyd, and not to sleep, Brenda Taylor. The reason I have asked you guys this question of, is this the world we want, is because do we want a world that we are told what god, goddess, or gods to worship? What clothes we are allowed to wear? Do you want a world of robots where we are told to think and do and what to believe in? Where we are not allowed to marry and fall in love with anyone of our own choice? I want you to take a second and put yourself in these people's shoes. To put yourself in the shoes of the LGBTQ community currently in Russia who have now had their love illegalized. To put yourself in the shoes of the French Muslims who during a time of peace in their religion are currently having their beliefs questioned. And I want you to put yourself in the shoes of every darker skinned brother and sister in the world right now. And think of the fear that they have to live with. And as you put yourself in those shoes, let me ask you these questions. What if it was a cross or crucifix that you were told that your daughter was not allowed to wear until she was 18? What if it was your heterosexual straight, for those in the back, marriage you were told you could no longer have? What if it was your personality, sexuality, religion, marriage, dress of clothes that was being illegalized? Put yourself in their shoes. And I ask you again, is this the world you want? I have always hated how us millennials are given so much shit by a lot of the older generations. Because think about what we witnessed and what we have had to deal with due to what the older generation has put us through. I remember in elementary school, I think I was in the 4th or 5th grade at that time, and suddenly the entire school was taken out of our classrooms and escorted to the library where all the other classes had joined. And we sat on the floor in front of a television. And I remember just as my class started to enter, the second plane hit the second tower. And of course, at that time, I was too young to understand the consequences that would come soon after. But as I have gotten older, I now understand the harm that has caused. Growing up in a mixed town, we of course had very mixed religions and cultures living side by side. That town is no longer like that anymore, but when I grew up there, that's how it was like. And just down from my godmother's pagan or Wiccan shop was a Sikh with his own shop. And he was known to be a good neighbor. He was known as a guy who would take the shirt off of his back and give it to you. He often gave free meals to most of the homeless that came through, and jobs. When he needed an extra hand in his shop, he would always be willing to hire one of the homeless. Sikhs are a very peaceful and earthbound belief, very similar to us pagans. And I remember this very gentle, kind man being attacked soon after 9/11 happened because people thought he was Muslim. And according to our president at the time, they were who to blame. And they were who we went to war with. I don't know what happened to him, but I do remember his turban being ripped from his head as people screamed profanities at him. And I never saw him again after that day. And I hope that the Sacred Spirit has taken really good care of him, because he was such a kind and gentle soul, and I hope wherever he is to this day, I hope he knows that little 9-year-old me still remembers his kindness. So I ask you again, is this the future you want? Where people are scared to connect to their ancestors? Where people are scared of the color of skin that they are born with will be the reason for their early death? And your own country that you grew up in, that you live in, instead of protecting you, illegalizes what brings you peace. And they illegalize you. The next time you come across something like this, whether it is a law, a belief, or another shooting, heaven forbid, ask yourself, what would you do if you were in their shoes? What if it was your color of skin that was the reason why you got pulled over and questioned and shot, and at the end of the day, the officer simply stated, "I meant to reach for my taser"? Ask yourself if it was a crucifix instead of a hijab that was currently being illegalized in France right now. How would you feel? That is all I have to say today. I would also like to add that, in my own personal opinion, until all lives matter, no lives matter. If you guys would like to join in the conversation, please comment below. Or if you have any ideas for future topics, you can always DM me on all of my social media accounts. Or send me an email at Wyona.A.M@gmail.com. And my Tumblr blog, WyM3 blog. You can also check out all of my other YouTube videos, my music and books channel, Wyona A.M, and my WyM3 vlog, which is basically my home base and my vlog channel. And of course, if you haven't, also like and subscribe this channel, my Coffee with WyWy channel, where we will have more and more discussions like this one.